Hi guys, Shannon here. I want to introduce you to a good friend of mine and business partner, Greg Jones.
Hi everyone.
Hey, Greg's going to tell you a little bit about himself, his hobbies, his fitness journey, and how he got started in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and how he got started with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gyms. Greg, when did it all start for you?
So Jiu-Jitsu started for me when I was done in playing football in the 90s. So in the late 90s, I lacked that physicality that I had with football, and that was for 15 years.
You played football for 15 years?
15 years.
So, like when did you start football?
When I was 8.
8 years old.
Yeah.
And you played all the way through high school? And
All the way through college, and had some offers in Canada and Europe.
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I didn't get an offer and didn't get a chance to get into a training camp in the NFL, and that was my dream.
Right.
And I wasn't going to go play football in Canada for 26 grand a year on the frozen tundra.
Yeah.
So I hung up my cleats, and that's when I was looking towards different martial arts. I actually joined a place called the Southern California School of Judo and Jiu-Jitsu in 97. And then shortly after that, I quit that and I joined a Hicks and Gracie school in Pacific Beach.
Oh, Pacific Beach, San Diego?
Under Carlos Valente.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
This was in the 90s.
Yeah. And
So
yep.
You
late
started
90s.
jiu-jitsu about 26 years ago.
Yeah, about 26 years ago.
Wow.
And that was when there was like 4 or 5 gyms in San Diego. Now there's 100
That's
gyms in San Diego County. There was like 4
That's
when I
so nutty
started.
to think about, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, it was shortly after that, a few years after that, that a business opportunity happened. And what happened is there was a Hoff Gracie school in Burien, James Foster, Brian Ford, all those guys. There was a guy named Sergio Silva was our instructor. He left. We brought in this guy named Mamazine, who is a Gracie Baja Black Belt team member, friends with Henzo and Hoff and all those guys. And so he came, and then one of the business partners wanted out, and they offered me to buy in, and that was 2001. Okay. And so I bought into the Hoff Gracie School in 2001. And this was before Jiu-Jitsu was a great business model. It was a bunch of guys beating each other up in the late 90s, early 2000s.
It was still pretty great.
There wasn't a huge kids presence. There was a few kids that trained, but it wasn't developed. You had the random, I think Cindy was probably Cindy Hales was one of 2 or 3 females that we had at the school. Michelle Wagner, Cindy. There might have been one other gal. But that was it. And so it wasn't a great business model. I hopped out of it, went into the corporate world. I was a national sales manager for a major nutraceutical company. I helped my buddy open a couple big box gyms, was personal training, doing various different things, fitness related. And then, about 10 years ago, I had an opportunity to buy into my first Gracie Baja school. There was a business owner that wanted out, and then I jumped in. And so that was beginning of 2014.
Got it.
And so that was my first gym back, but I'd already owned one in the past. It just wasn't a great model.
At the time, it was different.
Yeah. So, fast forward today, now there's 4 gyms that I own, and I'm planning on, launching more, developing the Oregon territory, most likely. And maybe Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe Texas.
Dude, there's availability everywhere, I believe, for jiu-jitsu, especially since the way it's compounded.
Yeah.
Right. And how a lot of people that are big name people, like actors and even look at Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Facebook guy, now he's doing it too. So there's a lot of people that are really starting to kind of catch on to, okay, this is the thing to do.
Right.
This is meta.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is the power of jiu-jitsu, not just as a martial art, but a lifestyle. And brings, it's unifying. Yeah. Right?
It's a culture.
It's a culture, it's a community, it's a village, and it's very, I think it's going to help save the world.
Yeah.
I really do. It plays a big part because it's bringing us back to where we came from.
Yeah.
Human beings, we're animals, we're primal. We men especially, we play wrestle as kids, just like bears do, and lions do, and animals do. The cats, they play because they're practicing their defense.
Right.
Because someday they're going to have to use it, right?
Yeah.
Well, not only is it a viable self-defense, it's, like we said, a community. You
Yeah.
know? You're going to stay in shape, right? You're more likely to eat cleaner, right? And you're absolutely going to connect with people. You're going to meet so many people in the jiu-jitsu community.
Absolutely.
Everybody. Football players, heart surgeons, airline pilots, all these, you name
Get the
it.
moms and the dads if they sign up their kids.
Yeah.
So there's something for everyone. And I also like the fact that we do multiple different disciplines. At the gym, we do kickboxing.
Yep.
We do jiu-jitsu. There's kids, there's adults, there's a competition team, there's just the self-defense aspect.
And at Renton, we have an MMA program. You
Right.
know, I know a lot of schools don't have that. However, we're lucky to have, like, you know, I come from a school that was an MMA dominant school originally. Eric Dahlberg, you know who he is.
Yeah, of course.
And then, of course, Dex Montenegro being an MMA guy, and Amy being an MMA fighter, Invicta. So, like, we're attracting some people who are interested in MMA because we do have that aspect we can bring to them. And, you know, Dex has a belt. Byron's coming off a couple wins. Rob Magruder is also, you know, has a few wins, pro fighter, and he's 40. And a police officer, works 12-hour shifts, and still fights. Yeah.
You know, the good thing about how this culture works and how this community works in the gyms is there's really a trickle down. So the kids and the members, they see these fighters. They may not, most people aren't going to aspire to be MMA fighters.
Right.
They're just doing it to be a self-defense or get into shape.
Yeah.
But when kids and parents see the level of seriousness and the level of the top competing BJJ practitioners going to Pans and Worlds and things like that, that trickles down to your whole member base. They want to be a part of that. Even though they don't necessarily want to fight.
They like to have the affiliation.
They like to have the affiliation. They know what around them is professional.
Yeah.
And I think it attracts the people that you want because they see that huge community, that huge influence. And they see these MMA fighters. I mean, these are police officers. You know, one's our program director.
Yeah.
You know, they're people that have normal jobs. They're not just pro MMA fighters.
Their parents.
Yep.
And
I like that aspect. I also like the aspect when people come into our gyms that, you know, they may sign up their kids and then they may look and say, you know what, I need to get in shape.
Yeah.
And then it's a family thing.
This looks
and
fun.
It's a family affair.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of gyms don't have that aspect. A lot of gyms, kids can't work out till they're 18, being on the floor.
Oh.
You know, some of them, like, there's teenagers that can work out. But if you go into any big box gym, if you're not 18, you're not working out on the main floor. You know, where ours is, we have a dedicated youth program.
Yep.
And so I think that's a huge motivating factor for people. I think the small gyms lend to that aspect of it, where people just, you know, everybody can come train and be together as a family. Whereas in the big box gyms, it's you kind of get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
And it's a smaller, tighter knit. You know, it's like home away from home.
Yep.
There's the lifestyle aspect.
Yeah.
So what I've tried to bring into jiu-jitsu, which wasn't there when I first started training jiu-jitsu, is working out, weights, and eating correctly.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because obviously,
and mindset.
well, it starts with mindset, right? You got to make the choice. That's a mindset, right?
Yeah.
And then you're building the habits because you're making the choice,
Right?
And then before you know it, now you're kind of in this routine that is constructive, right? And being in shape, exercising, not just jiu-jitsu, lifting weights.
Right.
Both of those, I feel, play a big part in business success.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So
I think every entrepreneur you talk to these days, every influencer that is not a fake influencer, they talk about working out and eating correctly and treating your body correctly has carryovers to everything else in your life. It carries over into your personal relationship, carries over into your business, how you deal with people, how you handle, and also mentally how you overcome obstacles, setbacks, roadblocks. If you're working out and you're eating right, you have the energy, you feel great, you're not going to have the mental, not that people or certain people are inherently have mental problems, but your mental state, that dopamine release, that endorphin release you get from working out,
Yep.
makes you want to attack everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Business, relationships.
Yeah.
It's a positivity thing. And we live that positive lifestyle. It never stops. It just builds on itself. It builds momentum, and then people see you. I've been noticing my son. My son turns 7 next month, and he spent a bunch of time in Seattle over the summer. And now he's like, "Hey, Dad, what can I eat to help build my muscles?" And he goes, "When can we go work out? And can I go train in Marysville today?" And so he wants to do jiu-jitsu. He wants to work out. He wants to eat better. He is emulating what he sees from me because
you set an example.
I'm setting an example.
And people do what they see. Yeah.
Right.
And it's very important. You're also his superhero.
Right.
You're a superhero, man.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it takes. That's what I feel like that, like over the last however many years, like people have kind of like de-evolutionized really fast and lost touch with like what it takes to raise a child and how it starts with you.
Yeah. One thing that I will tell you, I think a positive out of the pandemic and the positive that came out of COVID is I think a lot of people realize now, and there's been a little bit of a renaissance in the fitness industry in general, post-COVID, post-pandemic. People realize they gotta fucking get in shape. You can't. You can't hammer on your body.
Thank you.
Drink, smoke, not work out, not take care of yourself because they've all seen people around them die.
Yeah.
And get really sick and not recover from COVID and or die, and have all these comorbidities. And now COVID has at least brought up the awareness that America goes, you know what? I can't sit on my fat ass, eat whatever I want, not work out and hope for the best. Because you know what? It's just a numbers game.
You know what I will say, and I don't want to get political about it. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to get political about it at all. But I'm going to associate COVID with obesity and why did they not push health? They pushed the vaccine.
Yeah.
Because they don't want people to know that it's important to be healthy, because people being unhealthy is money.
Yeah.
You're eating more food, you're going to the doctor more, you're taking more pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Fucking take it as you will, but why didn't they push health? Oh, take supplements, eat healthy, work out. Because they didn't want to get rid of their cash cow.
Right.
They just said, no, don't listen to them. Wear your mask and get your fucking vaccine.
Yeah.
And social distance. Come on, am I wrong?
No. You're 100%.
And challenge me. I fucking dare you to. I would love to. Please challenge me. As a matter of fact, I will get a group of people together. We can have a big conversation about this, open-mindedly. But they don't want you healthy, man. There's a lot of people that don't want you healthy because there's no money in it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I think it's our responsibility as entrepreneurs, our responsibility as fathers, our responsibility as the business owners of these jiu-jitsu schools. To set an example. And we're influencing these families to come in so they can emulate for their kids.
100%.
Because it's not just about them bringing their kids in to train. Yeah, I want my kid to train. And by and large, they come in and people will spend any amount of money on their kids. So they'll be like, what does it cost? Yeah, give me the nice gi.
Yep.
And I want little Johnny training 4 days a week.
Yep.
But then you get those parents in because those parents don't realize the power of influence that they have over their kids. Once their kids, because maybe the kids will get into jiu-jitsu, maybe they'll get out of it for a while. But if they see the parents doing it, and if they see the parents, concerned about their health and the whole family eats well, then the kids are going to see that, and the kids are going to be raised up in that environment.
We're bringing the village back, Greg.
Yeah.
We're bringing the village back.
Bringing the village back.
Yeah.
Bringing the village back.
Yeah.
And I feel that's lost. I feel like parents get so busy, and I work with a lot of dads and moms. I've been working with them for years to get them in shape.
Oh, yeah.
the biggest excuse is like, well, I've got these kids and I've got work and I've got my wife and I got to do X,
Their
Y, Z
excuses,
things.
they don't have
You know
enough
what?
time.
These fucking excuses.
Yeah.
You've got the time.
Yes, you can find the time. You can make the time.
We all have 24 hours in a day.
We all have the same amount of time. Thank you.
What the top entrepreneurs do with their 24 hours and what you do with yours, because you're probably screen sucking.
Yep.
You're probably sitting on Instagram, scrolling TikTok, wasting fucking time.
I bet you have a Netflix account.
Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, once you learn to give up those things and start doing the things you need to do to move the fucking needle in your life, you're not going to make any headway. You're not going to make any forward motion.
You're going to tread water.
You're going to tread water.
And eventually you'll drown.
Yeah.
You got to build those muscles, not just these muscles, this muscle.
I want the freedom that being an entrepreneur brings, and I want to hire people and empower people, not only that work for me and you and us, but just that are around us, because we're inspirations to them.
That's right.
And every move that we make is being watched, and we make the moves we're supposed to make.
That's right.
You know, we walk our talk. And that's the biggest thing of people needing to adhere to. And, you know, for your kids, for your peers, you know, people watch what you do. And if you're doing the right shit, you're going to influence people, and people are going to want to be like you. And people are going to gravitate to our gyms too.
So this is what I say to my, not just my jiu-jitsu students, but like, you know, business mentoring stuff. Like when I talk to people about setting an example in leadership, I say, listen, you want to help people, you need to inspire them. And then they're enticed by you.
Yeah.
Then you make a connection. When you make a connection, you have a conduit. Yeah. Now information is going to flow and it's going to be received, which it should.
Right.
Then they start to listen. Then they start to make the steps.
Yeah.
And you can't just hit them over the head with it.
No, you can't.
Sometimes you do. If you already have them and they need a little check, you can hit them over the head. Like I love it. When my business coach, Andy Elliott, if I'm fucking off, he will straight up tell me, Shannon, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
He can hit me over the head with it. Yeah. That's a different example though, right?
Yeah.
But
that's accountability.
That's accountability, yeah. Because my wife does it, but 20 years with her, she knows how to hit me over the head. Yeah. So I do have a question. Jiu-jitsu schools.
Yep.
And I don't want to try to like act like we're bragging here, but the Renton School, we opened it during COVID.
Right.
Less than 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Over 400 students.
Yep.
How common is that a school does that?
Not that common. There have been some Gracie Bajas that scale up fast, some different ones like in California, Texas that I've known about, but around here, I haven't seen any of them scale quite like Renton did.
COVID.
Yeah, and we started that gym. We had major restrictions.
Mask
mandate. Everything was still being hammered down on us, and we just pushed right through and opened it anyway, and we're sitting, just signed people up in droves. I also think part of that is when people were coming on the tail end of COVID, they were like, you know what? Let's go join this place. Because a lot of people, let's face it, not everybody, but a lot of people were sick of sitting on their asses.
Sick of sitting on their asses.
And sick of not working out. And they're like, you know what? I don't give a rat's ass about if I get sick. I need to start training. I think you're better working out, building up your immunity, building up your ability to fight off anything you catch, than quarantining yourself in your fucking house, isolating yourself, eating Cheetos, and watching movies. Like, how is that the better plan?
Well, your body's not built that way.
No.
Your body's built to move. No. We're human beings. We're engineered to move, to carry, to construct, to fight. We're engineered to pretty much be outside 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
Too.
Here's the problem, though. Body in motion stays in motion. Body at rest stays at rest.
That's right.
You get people that once you start working out, it doesn't take a whole lot to maintain that because you're already in that groove. You've built that habit. You're doing that every day.
The body is supposed to do that, so it wakes up, it recognizes it, and
recognizes.
It's like, oh shit, we're doing this thing we're supposed to do, right? And just like working out, your muscles, you build your muscles because your body goes, he's doing this thing or she's
Yeah.
doing this thing. We need to help him out. Like,
Right.
let's go. Let's send everything there. Let's get this taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a blueprint. It has a blueprint. He knows what to do. You just got to get
But
the fuel.
those people that constantly sit on their butts, sedentary individuals, it's tough to get them to take the first step. And getting them moving, getting them started in some way, shape, or form. I almost like to start people that are completely sedentary with nutrition first, as far as my clients. Then go into jiu-jitsu, because a lot of people, if they're eating like crap, they're going to work out and they're going to feel like crap at first, and sometimes you just have to go through that process.
And that's,
Those two come hand in hand. When you train and you start training, you need to start eating better, because nutrition is a huge part of the equation. You can't out-exercise a bad diet. It doesn't work.
that's true. Because if you eat nothing but soda and bread and sugar, I don't care how much you exercise, you're going to get heart disease.
Yeah.
I gave up all that when I started going.
Yeah.
Sir.
All of it.
Yeah.
Soda, bread, anything that's bad, I just won't eat it because I know what happens after.
Yeah.
I have a lot of mentors. Like I listen to a lot, like Aaron Williamson. I don't know who he is. He was a Hollywood stuntman, also trainer he trained Jamie Foxx, Dwayne Rock Johnson, a bunch of guys, and he's a specimen. Like
I do know that guy.
Aaron Williamson,
Dark hair, big white guy.
big, tall, used to be a Marine. Like
Yeah.
I'll share his. I
I
think I shared with you.
seen his content.
You know, he says, eat meat, eat potatoes.
Yeah.
Sweet potatoes. Eat foods that you've been eating for hundreds of years.
Right.
You know, and like the proof is I eat red meat almost every day.
We're breaking down all those old stereotypes of animal fats and things that people think were
Are bad
originally
for you.
bad for them.
Yeah.
That come to find out now they're not.
I know they're not. Because
Like
Again,
eggs.
say that again, because I really had to listen. Someone told me this at the gym, and I didn't listen to them.
Yeah.
And it's until I realized that the fat in the animal in the meat
Yeah.
is necessary.
Yeah. So what you want to stay away from is those highly processed, hydrogenated, partially or fully hydrogenated vegetable oils like safflower or sunflower, all the stuff that they cook fast food in fast food restaurants, in most restaurants,
yeah,
are soybean oil. They're all crap.
very, very bad. Well, there is
So you have to eat the right fats. You have to eat the right foods.
ruminant
in general.
animals too. You got to eat ruminant animals. You know, we've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
You go back to your ancestors and where they were in the world, and like what was abundant. It was ruminant animals.
Yeah.
Like it's not like we had access to fish. Nothing wrong with fish. Some people can eat it. It's not like we had access to chickens.
Right.
Right. Like you ate what was available. And ruminant animals are everywhere.
Birds.
Deer, cows, bison,
Yeah.
like even giraffes.
Right.
Like so. Anyways,
Pheasant.
yeah.
All kinds,
And like I said, like the people, a lot of people that that mentor me, they feel better when they eat red meat. Jordan Peterson was overweight and sick, and he quit eating vegetables and starches and stuff. He ate nothing but, he went on a straight up meat diet.
Carnivore.
Nothing.
He was having oxalate poisoning.
Everything, all of his symptoms went away.
Yeah.
Like, but why is that not respected? Like, and so many people say the same thing, you know? And it's like, why does that be looked at? And look at these people who are in great shape and very healthy. And like, Dr. Boyd's my personal doctor, and he works with like Garrett White, Brandon Dawson, Andy Elliott, Bradley, Aaron Williamson, all of these big heavy hitters, like entrepreneurs. Like he's a world-class doctor. And he did a full body scan on me. Like everything, blood work, body scan, all kinds of stuff. You know, brain, heart, everything. He said, by the way, your heart, and he showed where like I have like extra blood vessels that are not very common, only in people who are athletes all their life.
Right.
Like as you're growing and you're developing, your body goes, oh, we need more veins here. We need more blood here because they use their body more.
Right.
And he says, I'm way less likely to have a heart attack because if I ever had a clog, those veins and arteries would take over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Kinda
from
cool.
training.
That's from
You
being
develop
physically
that.
fitness all my life.
Yeah.
From growing up, I was always on rollerblades, skateboards, bikes, basketball, baseball, football. I always did something active.
Then martial arts.
Martial arts.
Yeah.
Right. And then so like taking it a step further, like my brain scan was good, my lungs, everything was good, blood work, and I'm like, Dr. Boyd, like, at one point in my life, I wasn't feeling very good. And when I started eating meat and like potatoes and sweet potatoes and more complex stuff, fruits, he's like, yeah, that's exactly it. You're eating real food.
Yeah.
You're eating real food.
You know, it's funny. Every once in a while, because I have business mentors, I have a bodybuilding coach. If I stay on my diet and follow what my coach says to do, my body recovers. It gets in the best shape. My energy is better. Mental capacity, like everything is enhanced when I eat correctly. Every once in a while, if I'll like after a show, I'll go off the diet for a month and won't reverse diet, or I'll kind of do my own thing. And I always find that everything proportionately goes downhill
Kind of dips a little.
from business, relationships, like everything. When you let one little thing
Your
slip
attitude.
in your life,
Yeah.
it's like a downward spiral. So it starts with prioritizing and taking care of yourself. If you don't have that self-care inherently, and you don't care about your health, and you don't want to be healthy for you and your family and your, you know, all the people that rely on you, because we put money in a lot of people's pockets.
Yeah.
You know, we have a lot of employees. We have a lot of people that count on us.
Right.
So who are we to live like assholes?
That's right. And expect them to not do the same.
Yeah. And then we're preaching one thing, but we're doing another.
Yeah.
That doesn't jive, you know?
You know, I said it last week. We were doing an interview. I said, you know, your body, you're a machine. Build a machine to be powerful.
Yeah.
And then you got to fuel it properly. Like for instance, my car. If I put shitty gas in it, it won't work as well.
Run.
I got to put the good gas in it. Right. Yeah. And of course, the proper maintenance. Man, this is awesome. You know, like this is a good conversation. You know, I want to ask a couple more questions,
Sure.
and then we'll wrap it up with something.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, you know, not necessarily just the jiu-jitsu business in a whole, but what other business endeavors are you interested in getting involved with or working on? Like, what's your plan?
Yeah, I've got a brand at Coach Greg Jones Instagram. I'm going to start training middle-age. I actually already do. I've been putting people on stage, getting people ready for worlds and MMA fights and major competitions, and just getting middle-aged people in shape. But I'm going to concentrate on busy dads that don't prioritize themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do like yearly training, 3 months, 6 months, year training to get people in shape, not only physically, but mentally and, you know, financially, and to prioritize themselves so they can show up for their family and show up for their businesses and show up. You know, a lot of guys make a lot of money, but they have no time.
Yeah.
They don't take care of themselves. They drink or they smoke or they don't sleep enough and they don't work out.
Yep.
They may self-medicate, and everybody else is a priority but themselves. And that's the worst freaking thing you can do, because at some point you're going to crash and burn.
Yeah.
And, you know, then you're just relying on if you have superior genetics, because you've got the nature versus nurture. You need to nurture yourself to be healthy. You know, nature is one thing. Your set of genetics and circumstances that your parents gave you is one thing, right? But what do you do to nurture that or not nurture that in the way that you should? Plays a bigger part.
So you're going to help kind of show them your playbook, what you've.
I'm going to show them. I'm going to give them the toolkit. I'm going to give them the frameworks, and I'm also going to give them the accountability to show up for themselves in a program where they don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, that's real.
Everything from meals being delivered, workout plans, Inside Tracker. So I did team up with this company called Inside Tracker, and it's founded. One of the main guys of it is Dr. David Sinclair. He's huge in longevity right now, and he's a Harvard professor. So this company takes your biomarkers, and you do 3 of these a year, and they give you an inner age. My inner age was lower than my chronological age because I take care of myself.
Yeah.
So they do nutrition testing, hormone testing, actually genetic testing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So,
yeah,
and it's going to be on my profile, and I am building out a coachgregjones.com website right now, and all that information will be on there. That's going to be a part of my program. So that's going to be a part of what I do, is all those different frameworks, from the nutrition to the workout to the hormones to the mindset to, balancing out your body. Because if you don't know what's going on the inside, the outside can be deceiving, So you need to get the genetic testing. You need to get your blood markers.
Yep.
You need to get all that stuff. And you need to do that multiple times a year.
You do.
It's not just you go in and get a prostate exam and poop in a cup once a year. Like that's not enough. You got to test all these levels and make sure you're healthy. And then that'll dictate supplements that you may need, how you need to eat, little lifestyle changes you need to make, sleep, recovery.
Sleep. That's very important.
And that's a whole different
dude. So many people
go into the recovery, and
so many people set an alarm and force themselves out of bed, and it's like, you need more sleep.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it too, man. Like I wear a whoop strap. Obviously, I average about 6.5 hours a night.
Yeah.
I really think I should get more, because when I get like 7.5, 8, I feel better.
Yeah.
And it's hard, because like it's hard for me to shut up at night. I'm a night owl, and I get going. I'm on the laptop, and it's like, okay, what work can I do? What can I take care of? And yeah, sleep's very important too. Another thing that I wanted to touch on is, this program that you're going to be building. I'm actually part of something similar called Superhuman Fathers.
Yeah.
My buddy Kyle Carnahan, his brother Ryan, like they run that whole thing, and they've got a team, and dude, it's killer. And there's a lot of people looking for something like that, man. Especially if you have another aspect of it that can get a little deeper. Target middle-aged guys who need help. Like you said, the blood work stuff, and kind of combine everything. No, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who are going to be looking for that, especially lately.
I've had a lot of friends, childhood friends, hit me up. I've had some people hit me up in the past to do life coaching, which I've done. Mm-hmm. And my business partner now, one of my business partners used to be my life coach client, and I got him sober. So he was an alcoholic for decades. Very smart guy, very cerebral guy, makes a lot of money, but his life was a mess. And I got him into working out. I got him into eating correctly. And there were some relapses along the way, but he's been sober for over a couple years now. He's showing up for his family. His son is a blue belt in jiu-jitsu and wrestles, and he works out with both of his kids. And so I want to branch off from that, and people have just been asking me to help them for years. So I think it's finally time for me to put together that program that can kind of be the framework for somebody who kind of wants that help.
Yeah, no, it's very important too.
Like that structure.
There's a lot of people that need help in recovery.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, man, it's fucked, right?
Yeah.
I believe, you know who Wes Watson is, right?
Yeah, of course.
Dude, he actually owns some recovery. I believe he owns some recovery clinics.
Oh, okay.
Too, on top of his fitness program and life coach, and the guy just tells it like it is. Like, I'm going to see him in a few weeks in October. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty similar to what I'm going to be doing, for business coaching.
Yeah.
Right? Relating fitness, exercise, discipline, mindset to business, and how they, coincide. And, me being a multiple construction business owner, and of course other things. Yeah. Like, I have a blueprint as well, and it's massive. And a lot of people don't go into construction business. And there's so much room for construction. I'm not talking about building homes. I'm talking about remodeling. Everything from digging to roofing, everything. Yeah. So many people struggle running a small construction business because they're missing all the other rest of the blueprint. Yeah. Right? And all they need is somebody like me that can just go to, literally click on a question, and then a video of mine pops up or something. Anyways, I'm not going to get too in depth with it, but I'm building something with John.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. And we're excited because we're going to fucking add value to thousands and thousands and thousands of business owners. Nice. Especially in the construction industry.
Yeah, that's a part of kind of what I want to build at some point. Not necessarily out of the gates, but I definitely want to help people out financially as well as, and kind of teach them tools and the skills to get to that next level. I'm actually in the process right now of hiring a COO to kind of help me out with the gyms. And
So just describe real quick what a COO is for the camera.
so chief operating officer.
Gotcha.
And so they'll basically be the one turning the screws for all the gyms. So running the teams, helping the program directors, sales, products, L10 meetings, just basically getting in retention marketing, making sure that the gyms are supplied, making sure that they're clean, making sure that the team
touching on a lot of minutia that gets forgotten about or removed from a lot of businesses.
It's stuff that I just can't keep up with myself because, as you very well know,
oh yeah,
I live in Seattle, Washington. I've got a daughter in Montana. I've got a son in Colorado. So I'm the traveling daddy who's always in a different state. I'm not always Johnny on the spot in my gyms. So I need also, when other gyms happen, basically to do a construction process, site evaluation, hiring a team. My COO is going to be my right-hand man for expanding the gyms. That way I can work on my personal brand and do work for these busy, middle-aged dads.
But that's just it, Greg. We need to work on our personal brands in conjunction with everything we're doing.
In conjunction, right.
Right? So
and I haven't had the time.
I know.
Because I'm always traveling. And
Dude, I know you are, because I see you pop up videos and you're in your truck and you're like, you got this video and you're sitting in your truck and like, man, Greg is just like he's doing what he can with what he's got, Yeah. But this is very important because Andy Elliott told me at a one-on-one meeting with him, he's like, Shannon, you have all this already and you're doing all this. Now you just need to document it on the way. You can't wait 5 years and then go back and work on this.
Right.
Because you may miss the bus. Right? But you also got to have something for someone to recognize.
Right.
And I've been doing this for 15 years in business, been doing construction for 25 years, jiu-jitsu for 12 years. Like, I'm practicing leadership, right? I'm adding value to a lot of people. I know what I'm capable of. Sometimes it's hard to believe. It's fucking time.
Yeah.
I need to put it out there. And I don't care what people think. Because the positive feedback I'm getting from real people, like established, reputable people, that's what matters.
Yeah.
I want the haters too. Please, talk shit. Fire me up.
Yeah.
You're just a bully.
Motivate me.
You motivate me. That's what you did to me in middle school and high school.
Yeah.
You picked on me, called me a girl's name and fucking little blonde-haired, blue-eyed boy. And like, fuck, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want the haters too. Also, you help the algorithms.
Right. Showing up for yourself and becoming a leader it's a process. Like, what I know now and what I knew 10 years ago coming into the small box gyms is like night and day.
Yeah.
And you gain that experience as you go. At some point, you gotta start giving all that stuff back. So I want to give people the frameworks to get themselves in shape, even though they feel like they're facing insurmountable odds and they're too busy, they got too much shit going on, their business requires too many hours, their wife, if you set aside the time and time block and take things in bite-sized chunks, you can get everything done. You're on a schedule, but you can get all the things done, but you have to write things down. You have to schedule it. Otherwise, you just end up going through life willy-nilly. And you're like, okay, I got to.
You don't have a system. You gotta have a system.
There's no system.
That's why they fuck up.
Yeah.
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 You gotta have a system. Systems are how you automate a business.
It's how you.
That's
what we've learned with the gyms.
Yeah.
Is systems and automations and processes. If you don't have those processes in place and they're not fast, you're at a disadvantage.
Absolutely.
So speed kills, and you have to have that mindset in life that almost my former boss that I was actually going to open a supplement company with a little over 10 years ago, the owner of Zip Fizz and Biogenesis Nutraceuticals.
Oh shit! Okay.
Riley Livingston.
Wow, that's huge.
I was going to start a supplement company with him, and he came up and started his naturopathic company, and they ended up selling for like $30 million or something. When he started at Metagenics, he said that he used to go on his route every day, and he'd be in a freaking panic that he needed to make 20 calls or 30 sales calls and see so many people. He was in a panic every day to produce. And you kind of can't ever let that go. You kind of need to have somebody tightening the screws on you that make you want to produce, that make you want to achieve, that make you want to hit those goals.
It's that sense of urgency.
It's a sense of urgency you have to have.
That's right.
Most people don't have that.
Right.
But when you can learn to have a set of, a sense of urgency to your life, you're going to get ahead. You're gonna
this is, I promise you, this is true. Like I'm grateful that I have that gift, and it wasn't just a gift. I trained it. The sense of urgency.
Yeah.
My intuition in the areas in which I'm involved, I know my sense of urgency. I got to address this. I got to address this. I got to address this. Like I said, tighten the screws.
Yeah.
Tighten the screws. Sense of urgency. That can be taught in the systems.
Yep.
It's fucking systems.
Yep.
And it's also, like you said, time blocking, getting out and looking in, right? Working on your business, not necessarily in your business.
Yep.
A lot of guys work too much in their business. They're afraid to sublet. They're afraid to let go, relinquish control.
Yeah.
And in all actuality, that hurts you.
Yeah.
You got to practice that.
Let me tell you about how when I took on my first gym in 2014, it was actually my second gym in 2014. I was the head strength and conditioning coach. I was the part-time program director. Mm-hmm. I did all the back end. I did the numbers, the filings. I was the comptroller. I was training clients on the side.
A lot of hats. A lot of hats, dude.
So many hats. I was cleaning. I was painting. I would paint the gym. I can't tell you how many times I painted Gracie Bar, Bellevue, Monkey Bar Gym, Eastside, and Redmond.
Luckily, you knew how to paint a little bit.
Luckily, I know how to. I was the next professional painter through college. But my point is, I've learned from those mistakes that I've made being an entrepreneur over the past 10 years and where I needed to go to and where I was. And I knew that when I opened my second gym, that I couldn't just be wearing all these hats in one gym. Then when I got to 3 gyms and then 4 gyms, I was like, what am I doing? You can't chase your tail. You have to hire, you have to automate, you got to delegate.
Build teams.
You got to build teams. And these people need to feel like they are part of a family in a team. That's one thing that we have at GB Renton is everybody feels like they're an owner. They take ownership in working because they're a team member. They're just not an employee. And that's the difference between hiring employees and hiring team members. You got to make somebody part of your mission, that mission mindset. If your team is a part of your mission and you're going to war, and everybody's got your back, that's what kind of team you want. And you have to position yourself with the right people in those teams. And
you remember that little clip I put out recently about givers versus takers?
I did.
The difference?
Yeah.
Yeah. You hire givers.
Yeah.
Right? Because givers, they build. Takers, they deconstruct.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it is, man.
If you look at all these real successful entrepreneurs, they give so much. They give free shit. They give frameworks. They're like, this is how you market. This is how you do advertising. This is what you need to do, and this is how you need to structure your life.
And it's no secret.
It's no secret.
It's no secret.
It's no secret.
Not like,
but you got to do it.
You got to. That's right.
Urgency.
That's right. You can't just show up to a symposium or a seminar and sit there
and then leave
stuff. Yeah. And then go, okay, I went. Where's the stuff? Where's my reward? No. You show up. You take that, and then you got to implement action.
Yeah.
Right. That's a giver. A taker shows up and then expects to have things.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
To receive, you have to give. You have to give. You have to receive to give.
Yeah.
Then when you give, then you start to receive.
Right.
Then you find out you're receiving more. Then you're giving more. Then you're receiving more. Then you're giving more. Before you know it, you look around, you got hundreds of people around you.
Yeah.
Badass people too.
And you're building what you need to build. You're
Greg,
building
this is an awesome conversation.
Yeah.
You know, I know you and I have been business partners for almost 2 years now. We've known each other for many years now. And, you know, it's an honor, of course, to have you in my corner.
Honor to be on this.
Thank you. And so just like give somebody something to leave on.
If I could leave you with one thing, it would be you got to show up for yourself first. If you don't show up for yourself and do the things you know you're supposed to do, and you know what you're supposed to be doing, you know how to get in shape, you know how to eat right, most likely, you're just not doing it. Show up for yourself first, and everything else will fall into line.
He's right. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah. Thanks,
Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. That was fucking